Judd Apatow just went on Joe Rogan's podcast. He just goes on your podcast and said, you know who the funniest guy is that I've ever seen live? Is Gary Owen. And Joe Rogan never expanded on it. I figured he'd have me on the show by now.
No,
what I'm saying.
okay, I got it. I
was like this. I've never been invited? The guy just told you who the funniest guy is on the planet. And you like didn't even want to have him on?
Yeah, I do it big, big, big. I'm coming to win. I do it big, big, big. Say it again. I do it big, big, big. I'm coming to win. I do it big, big, big. Say it again. I do it big. I do it big, big, big. Say it again. I do it big.
Yeah, let's get some real Hall & Oates, Tina Marie in this bitch. Jack Harlow. Talk about nothing but white athletes here on White Wednesday. Mike, come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the big podcast with Shaq is one of my personal, dear, good friends, one of the funniest comedians I know. He's so funny, I went up to him one day when he didn't know me and I said, talk about me. And he looked up like I was going to beat him up or something. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Gary Owens. What's up, brother? You remember that?
That's how we first met?
No, you was at the Comedy Store one day and you were so funny and you said one joke about me, but you didn't keep it going. So I said, hey, man, talk about me. He's like, for real? I said, bro, talk about me, talk about my mama, do whatever.
Oh, wow. Man, you got a good memory.
Okay, so I need your help. We're going to watch a clip of what Charles Barkley said about me, and I need you to hit him with 4 or 5 ugly jokes, because he said I was ugly. Here's the clip right here.
Do you think the Shaq is sexy?
The hell no. Hell no.
Because Shaq thinks the Shaq is sexy. You know that, right?
First of all, so Shaq came to work about a month ago, and there's an article came out that he was the 9th sexiest bald man. And we're like...
In the world?
Yeah, in the world. He's ugly. But he said it was GQ magazine, and he was bragging about it. And then we did a little research. It was South Africa GQ. First of all, he's ugly in South Africa and America.
All right, so help me out. Go ahead. Respond to Charles Barkley for me.
No, but you are ugly. So I agree with him. I'm sorry about that.
Hold on.
That's what I'm saying about stand-up. You got to go a direction you're not expected to go.
Hold on. Cameraman, get a close-up. And I want to vote from the people. Am I ugly? I don't think I'm ugly. I don't think I'm ugly.
No, you're not. You're not ugly.
But my response to that is I don't want Charles Barkley talking about my beauty. I don't want Charles saying I'm attractive. I don't. Save that for somebody else.
Yeah, save it for Dwight Howard.
I'm not going to go.
What? That's your response to Charles. There you go, Shaq. You're welcome.
Okay, so for those who don't know who you are, because I heard the comment you said about Joe Coy. You know, a lot of people said he bombed when he hosted the Golden Globes.
And that pissed me off. The people that said he bombed were, because I got online and I looked it up, and I'm always curious when one of my, what I consider my contemporaries steps out of their comfort zone to do something like that. I was rooting for Joe, and at the same time, I wanted to see how he would react when they were going to get uptight. Because at one point, there's no way he was going to go out there and just destroy like he's used to with his fans. It's an uptight crowd, so I wanted to see how he was going to dig out.
Very uptight. Oh.
Beyond, and they don't know him. So they're like, how dare you speak of me? You know what I mean? And so I really watched it. And when I watched all the critiques, people were just like going in, he's just not funny. Don't ever have him back. And I was like, you people have never been to a stand-up show.
He's funny.
Yeah, you don't know what goes into this.
He's funny as shit.
And honestly...
Because you got to understand, I'm not sensitive. And I love to laugh. See, the reason why I did Shaq's Comedy All-Star, because, you know, it was a time where Def Comedy Jam had left, and there was no space for you guys. So, you know, me and my friend Jeff Flanagan, we put together Shaq Comedy All-Stars that you blessed a few times. But I love to laugh. You know, when people say funny things about me, I'm not going to call you. I'm not going to jump in your DM and be mad. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do comedians get upset when other comedians talk about them?
No. We act
sure
like we do.
that?
We act like we do. We get upset when you steal our jokes.
All right, you know, I was just getting ready to get into that because ever since Katt Williams said what he said,
yeah,
and I'm not disputing what he said, but you know, the internet detectives showed his gas station joke, and they showed Steve Harvey's joke. So if you say my shirt is green, and then I come back and say your shirt is aqua blue, am I really stealing your joke?
See, that's the thing. So we don't really know. Our minds think alike. But you don't really know. I was in that era. I was at the Comedy Store when Katt was closing with that hoopty joke. He played the Biggie song. He flicked the guy off. Well, I mean, I remember seeing it. He closed with that every show. And then I also remember Cedric doing the spaceship joke at the same time.
So if you take the joke and in your mind you make it better, but see to me when you say steal a joke, I'm thinking word for word. But if you say something funny. Premise, okay, got it.
You steal a premise.
Okay, so y'all get upset if you steal somebody's premise.
Yep. But some people take it a little too. Here's the thing. Some people take it a little too far. You know Scroncho?
Oh, I love Scroncho.
Okay, so Scroncho's boys hyped him up to tell him one time I stole one of his jokes. And Scroncho was being cool about it. He's being diplomatic. But all I did was I brought somebody on stage, and Scroncho used to bring somebody on stage back in the day and did a joke, right? Well, I actually had a heckler. So I said, come on stage and we can do the dozens, so to speak. And then I guess Scroncho's boys at the time, keep in mind, this is like late 90s, they said, man, Gary brought somebody on stage. Like, that's what I stole. And I pulled Scroncho aside, I go, what? I go, dude, our comedy is so different. It doesn't make any sense. And Scroncho was cool about it. He goes, yeah, I can see that. I go, no, I brought somebody on stage. But at that time, we were going up only Monday nights at the Improv. So you kind of knew if Scroncho went up, he was going to bring somebody on stage. I don't remember the joke, but that's what he did. It just so happened I had a heckler one night. I brought the guy on stage to play the Duns with. But his boys, all they saw was somebody coming on stage.
So did he try to fight you?
His boys tried to gas him up, but I pulled him aside and calmed him down. But what really backed him off was I was living with, I don't know if you remember Face. That was my roommate.
Big Face, yes, I remember Face.
Yeah, nobody crossed Face. So when Face was with me when this happened, Scroncho's boys kind of went, oh, we didn't know you were with him. Because I remember Face called him out. He goes, hey, don't you ever accuse my boy of stealing nothing. Like Face got in their ass a little bit. And then when Scroncho saw Face, he was like, oh, I didn't know you was with Face either. And then that's what really squashed it. And people don't know Face. Face was like that dude in the late 90s in LA.
So for me, being a basketball player, I stay in my lane. I know I'm very competitive. I didn't know other entities were so competitive. The funniest comedic beef I seen was on the Corey Holcomb show, where Erik Spears, I think he fought the guy Alonzo Smith. Now, see, I didn't know it went like that. See, Aries, I've known Aries for a while. When the guy was getting serious, saying, shut the fuck up. See, Aries, being a comedian, thought he was playing, then the guy just hauled up. Like, that was the first time I really, seen some. Like you hear a lot of stuff, there's beef, but I didn't really know that you guys had beef.
Well, that's the first time I've ever seen it get that far on air. You know what I mean? I think as a comedian, you go on to another comedian's podcast, you think you're safe. Like, we could talk all the shit we want. To me, as a comedian, you should never be offended. Don't get in this business if you're going to be offended. So I've been through a divorce. If I'm with you and we're bagging on each other, if you bring up my divorce, what am I going to get my feelings now? No, that's what we signed up for.
Good point.
You know what I mean? So I thought if you're going to jump somebody like that on a podcast, I don't want to work with you again. I never want to work with that guy that hit Aries. I'm like, oh, you shouldn't be in the game. You shouldn't be in this business. It'd be like you guys in the NBA get mad at every reporter that's critiquing you. You know what I mean?
Speaking of reporters, did you see my boy Stephen A. Goff?
Yeah.
If you didn't hear it, here's what he said.
There's a few things going on in the world of sports that need to be addressed. A fat bastard that has gotten away for far too long talking his bullshit. You wanted some? Fine. I'm happy to give it to you, you piece of shit.
Stephen A. Stephen A gets the golf clap. Because you know why? I'm going to tell you why he gets the golf clap. Wasn't really paying attention to what he said. I wish I could do that sometimes. And I don't do it because my mother is a church-going lady. And, you know, growing up early, I put her through a lot. And then once I decided to stay focused and, you know, fulfill my dreams, she was very proud. So for me, making her proud, making her smile, making her say, baby, I'm proud of you, I let a lot of stuff slide. But I've been wanting to go on rants like that since the early 90s, 2000s, living in L.A. But I'm glad he did it. I don't think it's over. You know, Jason Whitlock, I know he's going to have something to say. And as a fan, I'm going to just sit back and watch it. Because, it's, you know, even though those two are serious, it's still comedy to me.
Oh, it's great. The best was Stephen A.'s cliffhanger. He goes in and goes, yeah, that's next on the Stephen A. Smith show. Don't you change that dial. Or no, don't you dare. Don't you dare change that dial. And then he goes into an ad. The girl comes into the room. Hey, this is your book on paperback.
You know what? I'm gonna have the producer of my show do some homework. I want to know how many times he said "fat bastard."
I know, right?
I want to know.
A fat bastard. He is the person that I directly allude to as that fat bastard. We'll deal with the fat bastard himself. I never uttered the words fat bastard out of my mouth until a few months ago. To the fat bastard. I was wrong to call him a fat bastard.
Like he said that so many times. So
Fat bastard.
So now I'm wondering if he's going to have problems with the diet people. Get started on your resolutions with Factor, so you're ready for the new year. Factor's ready-to-eat meal delivery takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success in 2024. Skip the grocery stores, prep work, and cooking fatigue. Instead, get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered night to your door. With over 35 meals to choose from per week, including options like keto, calorie smart, vegan, veggie, and more. Plus, over 55 weekly add-ons, and you'll have a ton of nutritious and flavorful options to kickstart your resolutions. Forget frantic lunch preps and rush dinners. Factor's 2-minute meals are your secret weapon this year. Fuel up fast with restaurant-quality meals, all delivered right to your door. So skip the overpriced takeout trap. Factor is cheaper and way more delicious than takeout. Great chef-crafted restaurant-quality meals delivered right to your door. They're ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes, which means more time for you. Factor also has cold-pressed juices, smoothies, energy bars, extra protein, veggie sides, and more to keep you energized during the frantic times. So head to factormeals.com/BIGFACTOR50. That's factormeals.com, BigFactor50, and use the code BigFactor50 to get 50% off. That's code BigFactor50 at factormeals.com/BigFactor50 to get 50% off. I heard what you said about Joseph Coy. You made a lot of sense.
Joe Coy?
Yeah, Joe Coy. But how those people don't know him?
Because they live in a bubble. They're not going to stand-up. They're not like a connoisseur of stand-ups. They're probably not getting on YouTube. Right. They're not going out. So they don't know who's selling tickets and who's not. So they're not getting who's famous till after they've been famous. You know what I mean? So everybody in that room, they're like, we don't know him.
Is all that Hollywood shit true? Boys, booty, meetings and all that?
I don't know if it's true. I got hit on. I'll tell you off air who hit on me.
This Illuminati shit, I don't
know if the Illuminati is real. I don't know if that's real or not. I can't. I'm in the business. I'm like, I've never seen nobody trying to get me in a cult or anybody I knew got in a cult.
I owe you an apology.
Please.
I want to apologize for firing you off of Upload.
Do you know I got fired?
I fired you.
Shut up.
Bro, it was my show.
Did you fire me, you
Yes.
motherfucker? Why? Why'd you fire me?
Because the guy that does the skateboard guy, what's his name?
Skateboard guy?
Yeah, the one that has all the damn bloopers.
Tony Hawk?
No. He has a show on MTV.
Oh, Rob Dearden.
Yeah, so Rob Dearden, I guess he owns the rights to mostly all the good clips, and we weren't getting good clips. So the show was cool, but it wasn't cool enough. I actually was trying to compete with his show, but he owns the rights to all the good clips, and they were sending us to BS.
Why'd you fire me though?
Because I had to fire you first before I fired myself.
Oh my God. Okay, let me tell you why I was so salty about that show. We could talk about it now because it's 10 years later. Because I had Godfrey on my podcast to clear the air. Because there was people thought we had tension. We had tension. We were there a little bit.
Why?
You remember we was always like getting on each other's nerves, and I always
that was real.
Yeah, and I told him I was like,
okay, was that like a comedy thing, like two athletes
no, we were really
in the
getting on
same
each
gym?
other's nerves, and I always said to him, I said, I have nothing bad to say about Godfrey. I go, he's never done nothing to me. Seems like a cool dude, good comic. I was like this, so I got nothing bad to say about him. I said, it's just one of those things where at that time, for whatever reason, we were getting on each other's nerves, and you can't say why.
I thought y'all were just messing around. I thought that's what comedians do.
No, it just is.
Because I know that's what athletes do. Like like we're in the same club and you're in the section and you bring out 1 bottle, I'm bringing out 4.
Yeah.
You bring out 6, I'm bringing out 10.
No, it wasn't
That's
like
crazy.
that. Like I said, it wasn't that. But here's why I was so salty about that show. There's a couple reasons, and here's why you should be proud of that show. I'll give you 2 different things. One, I had a deal at Fox, right? So when Clanigan called me and asked me to audition for your show and I got on it, I had to sign the deal with True TV. And my manager was like, are you sure you want to sign this? Because we're going to pitch your sitcom. And if you sign this, then we got to get permission for them to do your sitcom. And I was like, it's True TV. I go, they're going to fall back if we get a show. And I said, I'm going to go with the guarantee thing. I rolled the dice. We go pitch my show at Fox. Fox picks it up in the room. Only time it's ever happened to in my career. We're
You're
having
welcome.
the pitch, and she goes,
You're welcome.
we're good. No, hold on. This is why, hold that, you're welcome. So we're in production for my show. True TV won't fall back to second position. They're like, no, they got to work around our schedule. And I'm like, what?
You're welcome.
So Fox said, oh, we don't negotiate with True TV. So I lost the sitcom, but I got on your show, right?
You're welcome.
Your show goes.
Did I pay you very well?
It was good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So when the one guy, there was one producer there who just wasn't feeling my stand-up. I knew it when the day I met him. He's the one that brought Godfrey on. He did not feel me, and he's the one that we got the email from saying, show's moving in a different direction, so we're going to move on from Gary. So at that point, I went, damn, I lost the sitcom, and then I got fired off the show that I lost the sitcom from, but I was like, that's life. It happens in this business. But here's the thing about that show that nobody realizes. Do you realize I only did 8 shows, right? We had Tiffany Haddish before anybody knew Tiffany Haddish like that. We had Ali Wong before anybody knew Ali Wong. We had Michelle Buteau.
'Cause that's what I do. I love comedy.
Well, I say I don't know who picked the talent. If you picked those comedians.
Bro, this is what I do. Shaq All-Star Comedy Jam was all me. Because
Yo.
remember, back in our day, Monday was the Improv. Tuesday was the Comedy Store.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Torre did a Chocolate Sundays. Remember that?
Chocolate Sundays was at the Laugh Factory.
Yeah, the Laugh-
It was Sunday,
so
Monday, Tuesday.
I was at all those spots.
Yeah.
Me and good old Uncle Jerome, we was at all those spots.
Yep. We had but that I look back at that show and I go, boom. Now you don't know this. One of the comedians we had on that show, she tried to create this false narrative about me that I was some male chauvinist, and she went on YouTube and was like, this is the time I did Upload, and Gary Owen tried to be it's on there. It's on YouTube. She tried to create this false
What's her
narrative.
name?
I don't even know. She never made it. So she went at me like trying to get her more 5 minutes of fame. And I go, wait. Everything we did on that show, we pulled everybody aside and was like, hey, go in on me, or I'll say something
did.
to set you up to make you funny.
We did.
Huh?
We did.
Yeah,
I
so
remember.
she did one where I was like, you was asking something, what video's better, Gary or Godfrey's? And I don't know, I made a comment like, I can't remember. It was definitely a comment like, you got a better chance of sleeping with somebody if you pick his video. And then she made a comment towards me. But it was very fun, I thought, on the show. Man, like 5-6 years later, people were like tagging me on Twitter like, yo, this girl's trying to get you quote unquote canceled, saying you're a male chauvinist because of this stuff. And I'm going, what is she talking about? I looked at it, I go, this was a TV show. This was scripted. But I was like, we was all backstage talking like, hey, whatever I say, come at me and kill me. That made the show funny. You want the guests to shine.
Question, and I think I know the answer to this, and I hope I'm not offending anybody. Is there a difference between white comedy and black comedy?
Without question.
So you do black comedy.
This is what I say about
No,
comedy.
you do black comedy. Don't even try that. Bro, I've been knowing you for...
You right.
Yeah.
Right. You right. But I always say this too. You don't choose your audience. They choose you. I can't be like, I'm going to do comedy for black people and black people are going to come out and see me. That's not up to me.
No offense to the white comedians. I've only seen 2 white guys at the Comedy Store kill. You and Honest John. You remember Honest John?
Well, you took it back.
You remember Honest John?
Here's the crazy part about Honest John. When I first got to LA in like the late 90s, right? I thought, God, that guy's old, right? He looked old. And now then I looked him up in his age. I go, yeah, I'm the age of Honest John right now. When I first got to LA, I was like, I hope nobody's showing up to LA going, dang, Gary, old?
He did a joke one time. You remember that Suge Knight joke he did?
Which one?
So he came in the Comedy Store one day. He said, man, I met Suge Knight. The motherfucker tried to intimidate me, so I wasn't intimidated. So I went to the motherfucker. The motherfucker take me in the back room, and they pee in a cup. And Suge was like, drink that piss. And I was like, shit, put some ice in that motherfucker.
Yeah. You can't just tell me to drink piss. You got to put ice cubes in it first.
So you and him are the only people that I've seen kill and destroy a predominantly African-American crowd. Like, when you first got into comedy, like, did you start off with your people and then bring it over to my people? I mean, how'd that work out for you?
Well, when I first started, I was in San Diego. I was in the Navy. And my first time
Oh, you were in the Navy?
Yeah. I did 6 years.
Stop it.
I bet you when we first met, I was still active duty. I didn't get out to 98.
You were in the Navy?
I was on Comic View and in the Navy at the same time. I was stationed in San Diego and I would drive up to LA for my spots and then go back down to the base. Huh?
That's what I don't like about you white people. I've been knowing you 20 years and I'm just now finding out you're in the Navy.
Yeah, I was in the Navy, bro.
You got a wire on you?
When we met, I had to be in the Navy active because I didn't get out.
Do you have a wire on you or something? Hold on, bro.
I was in the Navy.
You were married to a young lady that used to work for me.
Twism.
Yes, at Twism.
Yeah. I was salty when that went away because, man, I used to get some gift bags.
Oh, yeah, you did.
I was Twismed. I would go to the warehouse. You wasn't there.
Hey.
She'd be like, Shaq ain't here. I'm the only one here. And I'd be in there like, gang of shit. I don't know if you had cameras. You supplied Christmas in 98. I didn't spend a dime. What color shirt you like? I get it.
Yeah, that was a long time. So how'd y'all meet anyway?
Comedy Store.
For real?
You talking about my ex?
Yeah.
Comedy Store. She came out one night to the
I know how she got you too with all that motherfucking Indian curly hair and and the motherfucking baby hairs. The motherfucking baby hairs was hitting, wasn't it?
Yeah, she was a stunner. What I remember though, and I don't know if you remember this, I met her for lunch at your Twism offices in Compton back in the day. And I remember you came to get her to go to a meeting at Sony. She was telling me we were going to Sony. And you had 2 guys in the truck. You pull up had this Superman emblem in the front. Big old
Suburban truck. Probably, yeah.
And one guy was in the front, and I was like, and keep in mind, I'm in my car watching this go down, and she's sitting like this, and she won't get in the truck. And I was like, what is going on? And then your dude got out and got in the back seat, and she sat in the front. And I was like, so I called her that night. I go, what was going on when Shaq picked you up? She goes, his boy was in the front. His boy wasn't doing shit. And I said, you ain't treat me like one of your hoes. She was like, if you're going to take me to a meeting, I'm sitting in the front seat.
Yeah,
and she said, your boy was like, nah, man, nah. And you was like, just get in the back.
Yeah,
just get in the back. She was like this. And then your boy got out like a little kid, slammed the door, got in the back seat.
She did not hold her tongue.
Yeah, trust me. I know. Really? I tried to leave her 10 years ago. I was scared.
You were scared?
I asked her one time we get a divorce. She goes, no, we ain't. I said, I guess I'll stick this out there.
Did you see what Pat Riley in the Miami Heat did? So apparently Erik Spoelstra has been going through a divorce. So his divorce got final, and then a couple of days later, They made him one of the highest paid NBA coaches ever.
Hysterical.
Yes.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
definitely he went
everybody-
to the front office.
Yeah, everybody's talking about it on social media. I don't think they did that on purpose, but if they did, that's a hell of a chess
Well,
move.
that's where you go to the attorneys, and you've been through a divorce, I've been through a divorce, and you say, you put in the divorce, yeah, she's getting this amount, but she's not entitled to any future earnings.
Right.
That's what hey, I ain't saying, I'm just trying to help everybody with some game out here. You overpay, but then you know if something's coming down the pike, you say, this is it though. We
Yep.
divorced on January 1st, 2024. If that's the case, you say, that's it.
That's it,
Everything
right.
before that, you're entitled to, but everything after, we're good.
Have you ever seen Gary Owen?
Yes.
I was down at doing a set. I was playing Bonnaroo, and I wanted to go on the night before to warm up, and I went to Zany's in Nashville, and he's there, and I hadn't seen him before, and I did a set, and it was okay. It wasn't very good. It was just fine. And then he gets on. I've never heard louder laughs. I've never heard louder laughs. Me and my manager Jimmy Miller sat in the back of the room, and we were like, "What is happening?" And then we start really paying attention, going, how funny is this guy? Like listening to the material. Like, is this good material, or is he pandering, or what is it? And then we're like, wait a second, his material's incredible. Like, he is awesome. And it was the biggest laughs I've ever heard. He had a sustained, like, killing the crowd, where the place is just rocking and moving
He's
up
a
and
white
down.
guy that does a lot of black shows, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he went a full 20, 25 minutes at 10 before he slowed it down, and had to slow it down or he was going to kill these people. And I swear I thought, I don't know if I'm in the same business as this guy. Like, is this what we're supposed to do?
So when you hear stuff like that, how does that make you feel?
Honestly, frustrated.
Wow, dude just gave you a compliment.
He gave me a compliment, but nothing came of it. Here's my thing.
Stop being sensitive, man.
My thing is like this. If you got someone
Bro,
like
dude just
Judd
gave you-
Apatow, listen, I'm flattered, but listen. Judd Apatow just went on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Who has 190 million views,
That's what I'm going to get at.
and he said your name.
You have Judd Apatow, who's basically done one of the best, like, as far as turning stand-ups into translating into movies, one of the best out there.
That's not true, because I don't know who that guy is.
Judd Apatow,
I've never seen that guy before in my life.
he's behind the scenes.
Okay, got it.
40-year-old virgin.
Oh, okay, so he writes.
what
He
else?
writes. Okay, got it.
Give
okay.
him
okay,
all his
well,
credits.
Well, no, yeah, okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah, Steve Carell, Seth Rogen, all them guys. He just goes on your podcast and said, who the funniest guy is that I've ever seen live is Gary Owen. And Joe Rogan never expanded on it. He literally said, that's the white guy that does the black rooms, and then moved on.
Yeah, but you don't need to expand on it. For example, Michael Jordan, greatest players ever. That's it. LeBron James, greatest player ever. Shaq, most dominant ever. Kobe, greatest player. You don't need to expand on it. Like that title right there, he just gave it up to you. Because I've been to about 50 of your shows. I've never.
All right. Sorry,
I
I figured he had me on the show by now.
No,
That's what I'm saying.
okay, I got it.
I was like this. I've never been invited.
Got
The
it.
guy just told you who the funniest guy is on the planet, and you didn't even want to have him on.
Well, I'll tell you what, after this drops, because we're going to make that a short segment. So I've seen you perform about 50 times. Never seen you bomb. You are so good that I don't know if comedians you work on material or if it's all freestyle. I've seen you do your things, and if a joke don't hit and somebody heckles you, you go off. Mm-hmm. Is that instinct, or is that something that you have to practice?
No, that's instinct. To just be in the moment, that's all instinct. But I always knew I was a stand-up from jump. Like a little kid, I knew I was like, I'm gonna be a stand-up. I remember sitting in class in like 11th grade, looking around the room, going, "You guys don't even know who's in your room right now. Like, you have no idea who's in your class." I used to tell girls, and they'll tell you, any girl that went to high school with me that I asked out that said no, I was like, all right, I'm gonna make it.
You know what?
Telling you.
Me too. Same thing.
We had our high school
San Antonio Cole, yeah, all the girls that said no. How you like me now?
Right.
How you like me now?
Exactly. I remember our high school quarterback went to Miami of Ohio to play football. And we was at some, you know how you graduate your senior year, and basically that summer you're just doing parties all summer. And I went to one party, we was on this back deck, and this girl was like, "Wentz, when you go to NFL and you big and famous, you gonna forget about us? And I go, why are you asking him? I'm gonna be big and famous. I'm living in a trailer park. I'm like, I got no direction in my life. I said, why are you asking him?
Listen, I think I'm funny. I would never do comedy because, in basketball, if you miss the first shot, you get another 10. You get another 10. I can miss 4 or 5 shots and then get it going. I've seen a lot of guys that when that first, second, and third joke don't hit, it's over. So what gives you the confidence to say, you know what, I'm never going to bomb?
I don't know, man. I trust myself on stage more than anybody else. And I feel like I can go after anybody. Even if it's your show, I feel like I can go after you. I just know I'm going to have to work. It's not going to, sometimes you get on stage and the crowd's just in the pocket and they're laughing at everything. And then sometimes if you're following strong comics, you get up there and you're like, all right, they might be a little flat, but eventually I'm going to get them. Because even that clip you showed, Judd Apatow, a month later, he called to do one of his shows. He does the Largo off of La Cienega every month, does these benefit shows.
Oh, you just said nothing came about. And
No, I'm talking about nothing as far as like.
No, but he called
Joe
you,
Rogan
right?
Podcast. He did.
Bro, you over there bitching for nothing.
You're right. I can admit when I'm wrong. It happens. All right.
You think
It's fine. I'm just, okay. A little bit came of it.
You think it?
A little bit. It'd be like an NBA player going, I just saw the greatest player ever and he got a 10-day contract. Ain't nobody gonna sign me?
That's true. You think if you wrote 15 minutes for me, I could be successful?
Nope, I can't write for other people.
For me?
I don't think I could write for you.
Do you think I'm funny?
You know what? You're funny, but the stand-up's a different beast.
No. Am I funny or not?
You're funny, but I don't know if you can do stand-up.
Funny how? How the fuck am I funny?
Oh my God, here we go.
Funny like I fucking
Italian.
amuse you or something?
Yeah, you do amuse me. I'm like this. Yeah. I'd be so dumb, I'd be dead in that scene. Yeah, you're freak. Yeah, you amuse me, man.
So why don't you give the people your resume? I know it, but just go ahead. Brag.
What do I got?
Movies. Just brag.
What I got?
name 'em.
I got
4
I got
movies?
14 comedy specials.
Oh, you do?
I got so many specials that people don't know because I've never had like the backing of a network. I kind of do it myself and release them. And luckily I got a good enough relationship with Showtime. Most of them have been on Showtime. I think I had 4 on BET. The rest on Showtime. I did 2 independently when I first got into business. So I don't think it's 14. Maybe it's 12. I don't know. But I just did my last 2. My last 2, I filmed one on Friday, and we did the show on Friday, right? And I just hired the camera crew. We're trying to shop it and sell it right now. So I did Friday, and I had the camera crew for the weekend. So I got the theater Saturday too. So I was like, I talked to my manager, I said, I think I got another hour. So I filmed a whole different hour Saturday. So I hired a camera crew for one special, and basically got a 2 for 1. So we're gonna shop them both. Well, you know who's been a closed door? Everybody but Showtime. It's weird. It's weird, isn't it?
What do you mean?
I can't get traction outside of Showtime as far as like getting my specials on the air. I'm saying if you want to put your name on it, help me out.
You know there's a word that goes around? I'm that word.
All right.
Got it?
Looks like I'm going to TNT. That's going to water it down. And then Barkley's going to say, look how attractive this comedian we have on our show. Ernie's way better looking than you. That's going to be weird. Thanks, Shaq.
So
Only one safe is Kenny.
a couple weeks ago, Katt went off. And he said a lot of things. Did he say anything about you?
He said, I haven't crossed over. He actually gave me props. He said, why do you think Gary Owen hasn't crossed over to mainstream as a black comedian, basically? And he basically said, because I haven't slept with a man or haven't sold my soul to the Illuminati.
Does that really go on in Hollywood?
I got hit on. I talked about it one time, and people kept saying, I got hit on in an executive's office. And people
What you mean hit on?
Huh?
Hit on like how?
The guy was like, what's up?
Did he touch you?
No, that's why I didn't. The reason I
Did
never
he grab you like this or did he grab you like this?
No, he gave me a foot massage. I was like this. What is going on right now? It was weird. We were talking about a TV deal, and I was like, what are you doing? He had soft hands. But No, the guy, like, the reason I won't say who it is because he didn't cross the line. It's okay to hit on people. It's okay as long as you don't cross the line. I know it's awkward, but every man out there that's married to a woman, you hit on your wife to get her. So the way he was hitting on me, though, I was like, is this?
So what was his pickup line?
Is this? He asked me how much money I made. This is what he did. How much money you make a year, Gary, right now? And I'm making a number up, Shaq, because this is freaking 18, 19 years ago. I was like, I just said like 50,000, right? And he goes, Psst, I can make you millions in a year. I said, what? He goes, I can make you a millionaire in less than a year. I was like, do it. And he was like, well, how hard you want to work? I was like, I don't like the way you said hard. That's what I was like. It's weird when it's happening to you in the moment. You're like this. Is this guy hitting on me? And you literally start looking around the room for exits. You're like, this is 3rd floor. I can't jump out the window. The door is over here. I just was like, and then he was like, all right, man, we'll get in touch. I never heard from him again.
So we do this a lot in sports.
You hit on people?
No.
Oh.
Top 5 greatest players, top 5 this, that. Give me your top 5 comedians ever. In any genre, any era, give me your top 5.
Eddie Murphy.
I'm going to give you mine.
Eddie Murphy for sure. I'm going to say some names that probably people aren't familiar with. Pablo Francisco. I don't know if you know who he was back in the day.
Never heard of him, but go ahead.
You've seen him though.
Nope, never heard of him.
He was one of the few Latino guys that went up a Fat Tuesday.
Never heard of him.
All right. Mitch Hedberg.
Bro, who are these names?
These are 2 guys. This guy, right when he was popping, he died of a drug overdose.
Got it.
But man, he was so good. He would piss you off because you're like, how did you think of that? Because I remember one joke that's just so simple. He goes, when escalators break down, why do they say they're broken down? They just are stairs. And I was like, why didn't I think of that? It was so simple. You know what I mean?
Is that funny?
His delivery made
That's
it
not
funny.
funny.
It's
That's
so
not funny. Stop it.
It was so funny.
Boo.
No.
Boo.
Not my joke. Where's the guy when I need him? I need somebody to rub my feet. I think the obvious one is Richard Pryor.
Yes.
And then for me, next is that's 4, right? Probably George Carlin.
My 5 is Eddie Murphy.
Yep.
Richard Pryor. Mike Epps.
Really, that's interesting. I'm never going to say somebody's wrong because comedy's subjective.
Katt Williams.
Interesting.
And my big man is Corey Holcomb.
Interesting.
I like dirty, raw jokes that nobody would ever think of.
Yeah.
And that, so, I know, like you said, it's subjective, but.
Yeah, you're never going to have me argue like that's wrong. I'm just like, whatever your favorite is, your favorite. And for me, when you ask me who my favorites are, I'm thinking, who's talking about something as a stand-up that I didn't think of? Because a lot of times as stand-ups, we think alike, so you can see the joke coming.
Corey does that.
I know where this is going. And then when
Corey
he
does that.
Corey does that a lot.
Yes, he does that.
Corey's best joke, since the stare one wasn't funny, and that's the only one I could think of off the top of my head for Mitch Hedberg, but it was his delivery. You got to see his delivery. He always wore glasses, had these long hair, looked like a surfer. Corey's best joke, without question, is, hey, you ever fuck a fat bitch with skinny legs?
Yeah.
And the next morning she gets up and runs to the bathroom. You're like, I fucked a wisdom tooth.
Yeah.
I was like.
Yeah, him and Mike and Katt, they. So
I'm glad you have me on your show.
Is there
What the
such a.
fuck do I rank?
But hold on, no offense, but you're not ghetto enough for me. I like ghetto, dirty stuff that people are not allowed to say, stuff that people are scared to say.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm more of a W-2 comedian.
Like one of my favorite jokes where you was saying I'm married to a black person, but I still can't say the N-word.
Yeah.
That had me rolling.
Yeah.
And for those who haven't seen it, here it is right here.
I'm the only white person in my house. I hear the N-word every day, room to room. Just ding, 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 ding. I still can't say it. And I'm paying the goddamn mortgage. That's just the rule. Yo, that'd be crazy if black people change the rules one day. Just black people come out. All right. We don't give a shit. You can say it now. You'd have white guys walking around. Hear the news. Yeah. Black people said we're allowed to say the N-word. We're clear. We're good. We're allowed to say it. Are you fucking shitting me right now? Nah, we're approved. We're allowed. We can say it. Well, say it. Fuck that. You say it first.
Like that one, when I saw you do that, I was like, that was genius. Genius.
Yeah. That was the first time I saw you, and you probably don't remember this, was Christmas Eve, 1996. So you just got to LA.
I just got to LA.
And it was a Guy Tori's Fat Tuesday. And I had been doing stand-up like freaking 6 months. And they saw me in San Diego. And I went, they said, hey, come to the Comedy Store. And I went up like first. And I had literally probably had 10 minutes to my name. And you know how that bow comes on in the back of the Comedy Store? I was about 6 minutes in. I go, where's that fucking bow? I was out of material. I was like, I need that bow to light up. And you walked in. I just went, what's up, Shaq? And I had nothing to follow up. I was like, all right. You did one of these. But that night was crazy. I'd never really been to LA in the scene like that. So for me to go up that night, and I saw you, I saw Keyshawn Johnson. He just was about to get drafted. I saw Vivica Fox. I was in awe. I was like, what the fuck? So I got a great story about Richard Pryor at the Comedy Store, since he's one of your top 5. So he came up one night on Fat Tuesday, and he sat in that little booth, and his guys was there, and everybody said, look, Richard's coming. No pictures with Richard. Everybody knew. Leave him alone. And he was out of it, but he was still talking, right? So I go up, and the guy goes, Richard wants to meet you. And, to me, that's like you're meeting the king, right? So I'm like, no way. So we go. I sit down with him, and he's in my ear. He goes, you're funny. He goes, don't ever change. And I was like, all right. And he goes, can we get a pic? And I was like, yeah. I said, can I get a pic? Because they just asked me, and they go, yeah, there's 4 cell phones like that. I had to run to my car, which was parked like a block and a half at Pink's, because I didn't want to pay for valet. I didn't have no money.
Pink's?
So I would park behind Pink's and get a Subway sandwich and put it in my truck since I got a receipt. I was able to park there, and I go do my set at the Comedy Store. So I run down there, grab a real camera, and when I came back in to get the picture, the security grabbed me. They said, we told you, man, no pictures. I go, no, he asked me for a picture. And Richard can't fucking talk. So he's just going, and I'm like, tell him. So they realized he asked me for the picture. I get the picture, right?
I don't know why I'm laughing at this.
Here's
joke.
where the story turns. So the whole time I'm in LA now, I'm like, man, Richard Pryor told me don't ever change. Richard Pryor. Fast forward about 3 years later. I'm watching Oprah. Monique's on Oprah. Oprah looks at Monique and goes, when did you know? Like you had it? She goes, I was on stage one night and Richard Pryor was in the audience and he looked over at me afterwards. He told me to come. I sat down next to him. He put his arm around me and he said, don't change. Don't ever change. I said, that bitch took my Oprah story. And no offense, I would never call Monique out her name, but at that moment,
Shout
I was like,
out Monique, I love you, baby.
I know. I was like this. That's my story. And then it hit me. I go, oh shit. Richard Pryor was just telling everybody don't change. So you had a bunch of hack-ass comics never changing their act because they're like, Richard Pryor told me I'm funny. I was like, that was probably his go-to on the way out. I'm going to fuck all these comics up. They're not going to know. I'm telling terrible comedians don't ever change. But literally, I'm watching Oprah and I'm going, no, it's my story. Because I always thought I'd get on Oprah. And I was like this. She just took my whole story. And I'm sorry, I said, bitch, I didn't mean it like personally. I was just like, bitch, you know how you're in the moment.
Right.
That bitch took my motherfucking Richard Pryor Oprah story on Oprah. Happens.
So I've seen most of your movies. If you could direct or be in any movie and pick the actors you want, how would that movie look?
I'd hire nothing but comedians and then just one A-lister, like a Denzel, a Tom Hanks. So he could be the normal guy.
Like, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. Is there, when you see something, is there a joke you would not pull? I mean, like, because I would never. My question, do you talk about everything you see, no matter what?
Yeah, that's our job.
What do you think of Dave Chappelle? I think he's brilliant.
Yeah, of course he's brilliant. I think Dave has become, he's transcended from comedian to dang near Bigfoot. There's sightings of him. And then people just get excited being in his presence. And that's what I always say about these comedians, like someone like Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle. You're talking about what we consider the top of the food chain right now. Whether you see their special and you're like, I've seen better or whatever, you don't understand why they are where they are at until you're in their presence. And then when you're in their presence, like, I get it.
But what happens at the times where joke, offensive joke, derogatory joke, but it was a joke, people laugh and let it go. Now, if you say something, people are trying to get you canceled, they're trying to get your sponsorship taken away.
Shaq, it's not like that.
What you mean it's not like that?
It's not. I'm telling you. Cancel culture.
They are going after Dave Chappelle every time he does those jokes.
But it doesn't matter. He's still selling out. He's still getting more specials.
I know that, but I'm asking what happened to the time where people said, okay, this is in the joke category. He's not being serious. Let it go.
Well, here's what cancel culture is. It's a bunch of people on the internet that were never going to come see you live anyways. They were never going to come to a show. They were not there to support your career. And they're like, I don't like that joke, so I'm going to try to get everybody else not to go see him. And honestly, I think we're in a time now where now it's starting to shift again. Now people are like, no, like you said, I want the dirty, nasty stuff you're not supposed to talk about, live shows. Because I go to comedy clubs, theaters, I say whatever I want. And that's probably a big reason why they got these comedians now that say, don't pull out your cell phones. One, we don't want our stuff bootlegged. We're working on stuff. But another reason is you don't want a thought that is on the spur of the moment to get out on the internet. You're like, no, you weren't there. Or you cut that off before I was able to clear it up.
Right.
Special needs people came after me a couple years ago. I got a special needs cousin. I talked about her in my special, but I said the R word. And people went nuts on me. And I'm going, you can't be talking about them. I didn't. I talked about my family. And Tina wasn't mad.
I said the M word one time, and they came after me. Said you can't say it anymore. I said, well, first of all, I didn't know.
You're black?
Little people.
I think it's
little people.
I'm clearly not going to get a half and half deal. I'm not getting that sponsorship out of this, so I'm going to drink my coffee black. So.
All right, what else? That's crazy. You know what's crazy about this motherfucker? He always been like this. Ever since '96.
You know what's funny is there's a girl I know in LA, cool chick, and she used to tell me, like, I used to mess with this guy in the NBA, and she would never tell me who. And it's not like I was prying, but when they kind of bring it up, they kind of want to tell you, but then they act like I don't want to tell you.
Right.
And I said, who? And she was telling me there was a dude, and they said he kind of shifts back and forth, and he likes toys. And I go, who you talking about? Well, guess who it was? I was like, oh my God. And I'll be texting her now like, your boy. I was like, oh, okay. That's why he liked it in the post.
Cut. Oh my God, your ass crazy. Has anybody ever offended you with a joke, like made you mad to the point where you say, okay, I'm gonna get them back.
Nope.
Never.
We can't be offended. We can't. Here's the thing about stand-up. I hate it when people try to force us to be mad at somebody, force us to, not like. I'll give you an example. So when my brother passed away, he passed away of a heroin overdose, right? A week later, Saturday Night Live had a sketch where they were making fun of heroin addicts. And people started tagging me like, you don't see this? You're not going to go on Saturday Night Live? And I was like, no, because that's how they act. And if my brother was alive, he'd be laughing at that because all the shit they did in that sketch, I went through with my brother. I was like, oh. I said, they're accurate. I said, you guys are making it sound like SNL said, oh, Gary Owen's brother just died? All right, let's do this sketch right now. That's not what happened.
My favorite comedy moment is we're doing a Shaq roast. I think we were roasting Emmitt Smith and the Cowboys.
I know where you're going.
And we're having a meeting. And Doug Williams just comes out of nowhere. And we're talking about the lineup. And Doug Williams kept saying, put me on, Shaq. I was like, hold on, man. Put me on. Because, I like to, put, comedians on. Put me on, Shaq. And I'm like, hold on, man. I'm in the meeting right now. And he says, I'm funnier than that motherfucker Jamie Foxx. And Jamie said, what? You heard me, I'm funnier than you. So Jamie said, put him on. I've never seen him, never knew who he was. Jamie said, put him on. So we put him in the lineup, and his first 3 jokes didn't go well, and Jamie went in. If you haven't seen the clip, here it is right here.
Where is he right now? We're here for Emmitt Smith. Do you have any jokes for him tonight?
Got everybody out of the way, and I did too. I want to say this to Emmitt Smith, man.
I'm your conscience.
It's a pleasure.
Man, it sure did get hot in here. Am I fucking up right now? I'm your conscience. I really don't need to be up here right now. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking.
Your brother start making money, you can't tell him shit.
I'm your conscience.
All right.
I wish I was in a movie with Jamie. Maybe
right about
48 hours.
You are right about that.
72 hours.
In fact,
I don't know.
In fact, nigga, I need a cosigner. Can you cosign on the car for me?
I just did another joke that didn't go over. I'm your conscience. Maybe I should say something nice about Emmitt and wrap it up. Or maybe I should talk about how black people have to struggle. Yeah, that'll get them on my side.
Thank you very much, Jamie Foxx. Thank you. I needed the help. I appreciate it.
That right there was my most funny, and that was the most time I was embarrassed.
I've never heard of anything in my Stephen A. Smith voice so egregious. As how dare you say that you're funnier than Jamie Foxx? Yeah, hold on. Nobody better ever say you're funnier than Jamie Foxx, because I'll say, I know we did our top 5 stand-ups, but I'm talking top 5 people in the room. It's hard to top Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, he's one of the most talented people I've ever met. Sing.
He's the most talented person I've ever met.
Yeah, he is.
You know what I mean?
All right, brother.
He put me in my first movie.
I know you got to go check on your apartment, which you had a squatter in.
I got nothing to do, dude. I got people working for me. What do you want to do?
I want you to show us a video of the dude that was squatting in your house.
Okay. You know Tony? Do you know Tony?
Here it is right here.
Man, you the squatter? You living here?
Nah, but man who had the house, he just been putting stuff in though. I wasn't squatting. I'm staying here every county.
Well, how you got your stuff in our house?
You know Tony?
Nah, we don't know Tony.
Oh, well, he the one who gave me the key to the door. Let me put the stuff in it.
Man, nah, nobody should have this key, man.
Oh, I didn't know. He gave me
Okay. Well, yeah, we're going to be demoing the house, so, we here. If you don't mind just getting your stuff out, man, we'll keep it moving. All right. I guess the good news is at least you came before we tore the house down to get your stuff out, man. Yeah. It is what it is, man.
It wasn't like they didn't. It's like, it'd be cold in here. Like
Yeah.
I got him to heat just let him stand.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to help.
I got you. You the squatter landlord? Hey, that's a new one.
Look, my man.
Hey, only in Atlanta when you have a squatter landlord. He the squatter landlord. That's a new one.
All right, brother. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon, brother.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
correct it in the post.